But I want to talk to you now about the power of using the activation method to scale your business. Like, this is my jam. This is what I absolutely love. Being able to take something that is so profoundly powerful and creating more magic from that so that you can really have multiple streams of income and create multiple things within your business that just feel really, really aligned and really, really good. Now, when you become a practitioner within the activation method, you are then able to take on your own paying clients, which is really, really powerful. And those one on one sessions on their own are going to change your client's life. And I don't say that lightly, like, these are hugely powerful. However, what can happen is if you feel like you're constantly looking for new clients, new clients, new clients, and maybe you've got, say, 10 clients booked in, but there's always that kind of chase, I suppose, to think, oh, they've only booked for one session. And for me to have a continual income, I need to find more clients and I need to book out more space. And maybe you're someone who is quite limited for time, especially maybe if you're still employed or you have children, then maybe only a few hours a day or a week where you're able to actually conduct these sessions. This is where we now want to work smarter, not harder, right, ladies? So we are going to be talking in this class about how we can use the activation method to scale so that you can have more wealth and also make more impact, right? This is how it gets to be easy. So, activation method one-on-one sessions, powerful on their own, and you can charge probably like £111 for those if you want to. That's how much I charge. You then have the ability to scale up with the activation session and the 21-day aftercare. So, what you can do is you can just charge for the one on one session and then they go and do the aftercare by themselves. So, you send them the meditation, you send them the journal prompts, and you trust that they go off and do their own thing. If they do it, great, that's on them. If they don't, again, it's on them. It's not our responsibility if the session is what they've paid for and the aftercare is, you know, after that by themselves, then that is not your responsibility to make sure every day, every day, every day that they've done the thing. You can check in with them, of course you can, to say, how are you feeling after that session? Has anything else come up for you right now? Do you need any support with anything else? However, what I would be really careful with is that not to give too much support away for free. The next way you can scale this up now is you can offer the one on one session, which can be like an hour and a half. You know, sometimes they're really, really quite lengthy when you want to go in deep, an hour to an hour and a half. But after that, then what you can offer is, say, like Telegram support, Voxer support, Messenger support for the 21 days after that. So that means that they still have you there in their pocket every day going, right, show me what's going on for you right now. What was a message from your higher self today? This has come through for you today. Maybe something else as they've gone through the aftercare has come up as a trigger or a block, and you can help them navigate through that in the 21 days after that one on one session. So what you could do with that is you can extend the monetary amount of that to like £222, for example, because that's 21 days of your time. Now, it doesn't have to be that they are on you every day, but sometimes just having that little bit of support and knowing that they are still being mentored and held and coached through this, 21 days aftercare, whilst they're still activating, they're still connecting to their higher self, you can put a higher price on that, okay, which is really, really powerful. After that, what I have done with my business is all based around the activation method. So, all the programs, all the courses, all the group masterminds, everything has all come back to the activation method, which is why it is so powerful that you don't have to just offer one on ones. You can actually scale this back up. Now, with part of the activation method sections, what you've got is, say, the cord cutting, the forgiveness, the inner child work, you've got going above the event, you've got clearing all the events from the timeline and from the energy field, you've got the future self, you've got the higher self sections. So what I have found to work quite well for me is that if I then create a group coaching program, what you can take them through potentially is like a little bit each time. So, say for example, you are a money coach, or you're a business coach, or you're a self love coach. What you can do is, say, you can make a 6 week program, a 6 week group activation, or a 6 week money activation, a 6 week or 8 week, or whatever it is that you want to create. Like, you get to be the master of your business, you get to be as creative as you want to be. What you can do is you can start week one. So, week one, let's talk about your blocks. Like, what's your biggest block around money? Like, let's go through this. Let's maybe use muscle testing. Let's find out. You can make a workbook with it. Okay, because you're a practitioner, you are now able to use these skills and techniques however you choose. Now, please bear in mind that I don't want you to repurpose anything in terms of calling it something different. Legally, it's the activation method. Okay, it's been put together legally, it's trademarked, it's, everything is in place with lawyers and all that sort of stuff. So I don't encourage that you then like manipulate it and call it something different. But what you can do is say, right, I'm an activation method practitioner, and what we're going to be doing over the next 3 weeks is we're going to be breaking down this activation so that you come out of this 6-week program or 8-week program completely shifted, transformed, and ready to go. So the first week, finding out their blocks, what's going on for them right now, where does that come from, what's the root cause of that. The second week, right, if there's any energy cause, let's talk about energy cause. And these can be caused between you and whoever's made you feel like that. Let's get them gone, let's get them cleared and take them through the process. Get them through the other side, right? Who was it they were attached to? Maybe even bringing the forgiveness work. The next one could be like, let's talk about the inner child work. Can you see how you can break this down from a group perspective, where it doesn't have to be you take them through the whole thing and it's done? You can actually spread that out so they get to integrate each part, and they also get to get the shifts and reflect on that for the next class, right? And you can charge whatever you like for that. You could charge, say, some of my group programs have been 333, 444. I love angel numbers, by the way, because I feel like the people that are in my world understand the power of those numbers. A lot of the people that I found as well buy because they're like, oh my God, that's a sign. Oh my God, like I've been seeing these numbers everywhere. Let's go. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Because I know that, number one, how powerful those prices are. But number two, the transformations they're going to get. Please don't undersell yourself. Please make sure that when you are scaling up to the group packages, that you are not going in at, right, 8 weeks for £55, right? We want to make sure that, number one, it is of high value in terms of what you're giving them, but also the monetary value, you're going to get compensated for that fairly. What I see so many women do is that they are offering like freebies, or they're offering, join this 8-week program, but only for £22. There is two parts to this that is going to mean that it's not going to sell. The first part is you are going to be burnt out. The energetic exchange for what you are giving versus what you are charging, you are going to be giving so much, bearing in mind the ladies that come into these group programs are going to probably want some support outside of those calls as well. You're going to get messages, you're going to get, them messaging you saying, oh my God, but I need help with this, and this has come up, what do I do? Like, bearing in mind your time is valuable, like you are precious. The skills that you have learned through the activation method is so incredibly transformational. That's not low value, that, right? You deserve to be highly compensated now for your skills and your expertise. Okay, so when there is a mismatch of the balance of what you're getting paid versus what you are given, there can then tend to be resentment. I don't want to show up for this call because my bank balance is still empty. Or you've had 3 people sign up and you're getting paid £66 for 8 weeks' work. No, that is also one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that if it is too cheap, people tend to not buy it because they believe the value is going to be cheap. They also then believe that actually they don't value it as much, they may not turn up. I've seen this with people where, how many of us have signed up for free masterclasses or free breakthrough sessions or free whatever it might be, and you haven't showed up because they haven't paid, so they don't value it. This is huge. Okay, so making sure that you put a good price on it, 222, 333, 444, 555, like whatever feels good for you, but don't undervalue it for your own energy and also for your client's perspective. They are not going to buy cheap if they are ready to move. They are going to buy from someone who is certain, who has got a good value on it, and is going to get them transformations. Okay. So that's how you can scale it even further, right? You get to make a bigger impact whilst making bigger money, which is beautiful. The passion and the purpose around the activation method is, yes, the transformation, but it's getting more wealth in the hands of the women that want to make an impact on the world. Because when that wealth comes in, we get to make a bigger impact, and a bigger impact on our families' lives, on our lives, on the people's around us lives. It is huge, right? So I really want you to think about the prices that feel good for you. And if there are any blocks and be like, oh, but I want to charge small. Do an activation session on yourself. When did you decide that that was a thing? When did you decide that you couldn't be paid for your time or your worth or your energy? There's going to be another workshop around the monetary side of this where you can work through the workbook and be like, right, what blocks are here? Let's get them gone, because I now want to step into my next level leadership power of my business. Is my, it's transformational, and I value it, and I'm certain that I am going to be able to change your life. Like, huge. Okay, next one, group mastermind. So same thing, you could do we talked about that, sorry, group healing. So you could do like retreats. So what you could do is, if you already hold retreats, or if you've been tempted to do retreats and you love in-person stuff, bring the activation method into the retreat. Again, the cord cutting, you can segment it down. Let's do some cord cutting. Let's really clear those cords, and let's bring those people up so we can tell them whatever it is that we want to say and send them away to the light. How powerful is that going to be in person? But you're going to be also helping them pull out the cords while they're pulling out the cords, and you're going to be holding the space and having that experience with them. Like, so powerful. And you can use that to actually structure your retreat if you want to. Now we're going to work on that inner child. What does that inner child need to hear right now? What does she need to be told right now? This could be hugely transformational. Again, I'm saying that word so many times, but it can be. The in-person stuff, we overthink retreats so much. What if the activation method was the foundation of your retreat? It gets to be easy when you have all these tools in place, right? The next one that I want to talk about is that if you already have skills and other things that you do, say Reiki, other coaching, other modalities, and you're like, you know what? I can actually make this now a 6-month program. I can make this a 6-month one-on-one. Do it. If you are certain that you have enough that you could help them with, and the skills and the expertise to hold the space for 3 months or 6 months with someone one-on-one, and you are clear on what the end result is going to be for that client, you know what their problem is going to be, you know how you're going to be able to help them, and you know that at the end of that 3 months or 6 months they're going to go away completely shifted and completely different, then do that. Like 3 months or 6 months, you could be charging like 5 grand for 6 months with, working with someone one-on-one. Now, with my 6 months, I also add in that certifications. So my 6 month is basically a fast track to freedom. So it's given them like all the certifications, so silent counseling, activation methods, soul activation. When that comes back through and it's all relaunched, which is beautiful, it's going to have that, but it's also condensing everything that I've learned and invested in myself in 3 years after I got made redundant. It's condensing that down to 6 months, so they have a fast track of creating or stepping into having a business similar to mine, or whatever it is that they dream and desire, with everything that I have already invested in. So they are saving a ton of time, a ton of money, and they're things that I value too. Like, I value my time, I value my energy. So if I knew that somebody could get me to a place quicker than me trying to figure it out for myself, I'm going to invest. So thinking about, what does your 6 month or 3 month transformation actually entail? Have you got the ability to hold the space for them for that amount of time? If you are brand new to coaching, I probably wouldn't suggest this straight away. I would go into the one-on-one sessions, expanding that to 21 days so you can then extend the price of that, and then potentially doing like group masterminds if you love things like money, self-love, business, whatever it might be for you. Bringing in the group masterminds, and also if you want to do in-person retreats or hold circles as well. People are doing like full moon circles, they're doing equinox circles, they're doing all these beautiful things. The activation method, or even just an element of the activation method, can be really powerful for you to hold those spaces. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk to you about with scaling your business with the activation method is becoming a sub-educator. This honestly transformed my life. And I don't say that lightly. Me having the ability to hold my own sessions and hold my own healings was powerful. Then holding other client sessions was really powerful. But then being able to teach my own students how they can hold activation sessions of their own, the ripple effect of that blew me away. Not just from the perspective of all the students that came in. I had 10 students at a time, and with that came the wealth that came with it, right? So at the minute it's 888 for you to become a practitioner. You become a sub-educator and you have 5 to 10 students a month for teaching them for 3 to 4 days a month, and that's it. Can you see how the scalability of being in the world of the activation method can change everything for you? You can go from charging like £111 for a session to charging £888 to become a practitioner. And what I found with this is because the price is the price is the price, like it's the same price across the board, it takes away that fear of, like, am I charging too much? Are they going to pay? What if I need to lower the price? Because that just isn't an option anymore. That option is taken away from you. And I knew from my perspective, it shifted so much of my money blocks because I'm like, oh, this is the price. Like the price is being told from me that this is the price. If you want to learn it, great. If you don't want to learn it, great. There was no pressure anymore. There was no overthinking, like, should I charge this or should I discount that? I'm like, this is the price and it's done. And as I had that certainty and I stepped into, you can become a practitioner, you can hold your own sessions. The return on investment is this, right? Say, for example, the practitioner pays £888, and you say to them, actually, like what you could do if you wanted to hold the session and the 21 days aftercare, all you would need is 4 clients for £222, and you paid it back. The return on investment is incredible. They could get those 4 people in a week and it's done. They've paid it back, and everything after that is profit. And for you to be able to work 3 to 4 days a month and hold in those classes, where obviously I would teach you how to hold the classes, you'll become part of my classes, so you can actually hold some of the sections of those classes, and I'll be there to hold your hand every single step of the way. Imagine that. Imagine in 6 months' time, you're holding your own classes and you're having, even 3 months' time, holding your own classes, having 10 students a month, and you're hitting nearly £10,000 a month every single month and working 4 days in that month, right? Hopefully, now that's started to get those cogs ticking, like it gets to be fun and it gets to be easy. So many of us, including myself, was looking for something that was really going to help me get the life and the money that I really wanted. And I knew that other things that I'd done in the past just weren't ever going to get me there. I was somebody who wanted to step into my own power and have my own business where it wasn't dictated to me by anybody else. It wasn't that I had to, do all these things, and it was so complicated to have this, financial freedom that I desired. Actually, when I stepped into the power and I found the activation method, it transformed my life because it changed who I was being, but also then it changed my whole family's life because now for 3 years my children have had their mum at home doing the school pickups, there when they're sick, there at every assembly. I'm not burnt out anymore. I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. Yes, there are times where I'm like, oh, I'm trying to do too many things, but that's on me. The activation method has been the absolute foundation and key to everything that I have created today with my business. And as we're now scaling up to multiple 6 figure years, as a mum of two who works probably 12 hours a week, because I've still got an 18-month-old and I've still got a 6-year-old. I have to do school pickups and nursery pickups and get her down for a nap and all those things. But actually now it gets to be so much more fun and so much more easy because I have the clarity of, right, what am I offering? One-on-one sessions, and I'm opening classes, right? And it takes that pressure away. The sessions are so powerful, and I love the simplicity of them because when you become the practitioner and you're going through it, it's a scripted exercise, it's a scripted practice, it's a scripted experience. So when the client is closing their eyes and they're going through, tapping into the unconscious mind, taking the breath in, doing all the things that you're getting them to do, the cord cutting, the forgiveness work, the inner child work, you can actually have that script in front of you. I remember when I first started and I had it all printed out and had everything highlighted and all the notes on it. And every time I went to turn the page, I would mute the Zoom so they didn't hear it because they can't see you. And I think that's so powerful, especially if you're somebody who's never done something like this before or is feeling quite nervous about holding these sessions, knowing that that script can be in front of you at any given time. You can highlight it, you can make notes on it, you can do whatever you want. But that process and the wording in that process is all scripted for you at the start. And actually, as you get more confident, now I haven't even got a script here. Like, I don't even need to see it because I know it heart, like completely off by heart. And I know that as people get more confident with the activation method, they then, tweak it and change the wording to suit them and their clients. I've got clients now, practitioners, who are bringing in the activation method with their healings. They're bringing in Reiki with it, which is really powerful. They're bringing in human design with it, which is really powerful. There are so many different bits and bobs that people are bringing in. They're bringing in their magic and their own expertise so they can put their own spin on how they use the activation method in their business. Like, and you might be somebody who's very experienced. You already have things like healing, Reiki, crystal, whatever it might be. You may also have other modalities. And when you get more comfortable with, oh my God, I could bring this in as well, that's going to be your area of expertise, because there won't be anyone else who does it like you. Sometimes now I bring in a bit of silent counseling first before I do the activation method, because I found that it removes like the topsoil of all the energy that's in their body, so that then we can go into the activation method and the process and the transformation is deeper. But if you love Reiki, human design, you'll be like, right, okay, so let's look at your human design. You've got this, this, and this gene key, this, whatever it might be. This is where your superpower lies. What's blocking that right now? Let's get that gone. If you're a self-love coach, you are able now to help your clients really transform and step into loving themselves again like they've never loved themselves before. When you connect them to their higher self, or connect them to the future version of themselves, that version who does love themselves, who nurtures themselves, who puts themselves first, and you're able to help them speak their truth again or be seen again or whatever it might be, the clients in your self-love world are going to be transformed massively. Okay, so the power of this is that you get to decide how you lean into the activation method within your business, how you scale it up, how you use the skills and the tools in your toolkit now to bring in more clients, but also make a bigger impact. Okay, so I hope this has landed for any of you that are watching this. I hope this has given you some ideas, um, because I know that every idea comes in, it's because the activation method has either shifted the biggest block around me having to have everything perfect or overthink everything, or it's got to be a certain way because someone else did it a certain way. I have now tapped into my own area of expertise, my own intuition, my own like guidance, because the activation method has opened me up. It's cracked me wide open to be the person that I'm here to be today. And I know that it's going to do the same for you. So, any questions around this, please let me know. But I hope this has given you something to think about. And let's make the biggest impact that we have ever made together.